Alright, it's late at night. I need to be quiet, try not to wake anyone. So let's very quietly talk about Make Mine Music. So this is the next in a series of package films from Disney. It is made up of 10 segments, each revolving around a different form of music. And yeah, I guess let's just get right to them. So the first segment was cut from later releases of the film, but I managed to see it. It's obviously inspired by the Hatfields and the McCoys. And basically what it's about is that these two families, as you would know from the story of Hatfields and McCoys, who are constantly feuding with each other. They're shooting shotguns and stuff. But then they all end up dead except for two people, a young man and a young woman. They hook up, and you keep seeing their family members up in heaven, and they're constantly upset that their children, if you will, are hooking up, getting married. But then at the end, there's a little twist that the couple is fighting the same way the two families were. So it's it kind of comes full circle. Yeah. So basically, this was cut from the film because there was a lot of guns, silly gun antics. Either way, I guess this was the weakest of the film, the weakest segment of the film anyway. It was fine. There was some amusing stuff in it. Yeah, there was some decent comedy. Aside from that, nothing that remarkable. I guess it did stand out a little bit because gives the movie a little bit of variety. An old country bluegrass music. I forget the name of the group that was singing / narrating, but yeah, it was all right. The next segment was called Blue Bayou. It was a nice little song. But yeah, the best part of it was definitely the animation. Although, as I found out, the animation was intended to be in Fantasia with a different classical score. But yeah, it was nice. The fact that the best part was the animation, and the fact that it wasn't meant for this movie kind of undermines it. But yeah, it was a good segment. I enjoyed it. The next one was called All the Cats Join In. It's it's like a swing jazz segment. And yeah, it's basically all these teenagers coming together at this shop or something and partying to the music from this jukebox. Yeah, very retro by today's standards. But yeah, it was again, the music was good. There were some somewhat disturbing parts of it, though. One of the main controversies was the part near the beginning where this teenage girl is like taking a shower, and then she gets out and she puts her clothes on, and like you see like the side of her breasts or something. I forget the exact details, but yeah, there was I guess moral guardians didn't take kindly to it, but yeah, it's I think the censorship is pretty ridiculous in that part, but there were other parts that had some unfortunate implications. For one thing, there were I didn't see any black people dancing to this jazz song, although maybe they didn't want to because the composer is a white guy. But yeah, the big one the big most unfortunate implication part was this part where this girl is drawn. By the way, yeah, the whole segment is done like with pencils, and it shows like the pencils drawing them. It is a very unique animation style. So yeah, that's probably the best part of it was the animation style. But yeah, there was this part where this girl is drawn and she has like this big butt, and then this guy walks up and he sees her and he's like, "Oh, not interested," and she kind of like glares indignantly at the artist, and then the artist just erases the flab off of her, and then the guy's like, "Oh, now I'm interested." So yeah, that's a little disturbing by today's standards. A little bit of sexism on both sides, to be honest. Like, portraying guys as shallow and girls as, only attractive when they're skinny. But yeah. Let me see. The next segment was another segment that was mostly kind of attractive. It relied mostly on the slow movement, the artwork. It did remind me quite a bit of the Ave Maria segment at the end of Fantasia. But yeah, it was the song was basically this somber ballad about how this guy can't go on without his lover or whatever. Nice song, and yeah, the animation was really good. The next one was Casey at the Bat, one of the more famous segments of this movie. And yeah, it was a very funny segment. I think in terms of comedy, it might have been the best one. There was another little unfortunate implication part where they say at the beginning that, or they're basically singing at the beginning that the women don't understand. Basically, it just makes it sound like women are stupid. So yeah, some parts of this movie have not aged very well. But yeah, basically Casey is a jerk, and he strikes out. It's kind of karma, or like his first two strikes are just him being overly cocky. He's like, "Oh, I don't need to catch this one. I'll get the last one," and then he misses. Or yeah, bat this one. But yeah, it was a funny segment. What was next? This little song sung by Dinah Shore. That's like the only name that I even remotely recognize. Yeah, a lot of the music here is obviously before my time. But yeah, I do know the name Dinah Shore. So yeah, she sings this another nice little song. It does seem like they go back and forth for a little while in this movie between like funny, cartoony segments and like really nice, heartfelt, artistically animated segments. But yeah, this one involved like rotoscoped silhouettes dancing, a man and a woman, and there were also these little cupids. Yeah, they were all in silhouettes. Got a bit of a Lotta Reiniger vibe from it. It was nice. Not really my favorite, but it was nice. Next was Peter and the Wolf. Probably the most famous segment. And yeah, for the most part, it's a really good segment. The wolf is kind of scary, honestly. Like, there are some shots of the wolf that are pretty intense, but yeah, not too scary. I'm a grown man. I'm not I ain't afraid of nothing except nah. But yeah, it was yeah, it's some nice characters, a good little plot. The only thing that brought it down was Sterling Holloway's narration. Now, I do have mad respect for Sterling Holloway, but this segment didn't need him. It should have been like silent. Yeah, just the the orchestra. That's all it really needed. Like Sterling Holloway just kind of took the what's the word? He just stole a pretty you have the word in the back of your head and you don't know what it is, but yeah, I just think he brought it down a bit in this case. I mean, I enjoy his narration work, I enjoy his voice work, etc., etc. But yeah, I don't think he worked here. What was the next segment? It was another jazz segment. It was by the same guy who did the Cats, All the Cats Join In segment. But yeah, this was probably my favorite part of the movie. There were all these crazy visuals coming to life and all these dancing jazz instruments. And yeah, the animation was probably the best of the whole movie. I think this was the part that felt the most like a contemporary version of Fantasia. Like as is worth pointing out, Fantasia was was mostly classical stuff, and then this one has a little more focus on contemporary. Although there's still some classical stuff in there as well, like Peter and the Wolf, and I guess you could say opera kind of counts as classical as well. But yeah, yeah, great animation. The next segment was the one with the hats. It's about a fedora. Insert fedora wearing neckbeard joke here. I shaved my neck. But yeah, it's about a fedora falling in love with a bonnet. And yeah, it was cute. It didn't quite go in the direction I thought it was going to go in. Like I knew after a woman bought the bonnet, I knew like a man was going to buy the fedora, but I thought what was going to happen was like the man and the woman meet and they fall in love, and then because of that the two hats get to stay together, but it doesn't quite go in that direction. But yeah, it's cute. Not very remarkable though. And then finally, segment about an opera singing whale, and this was fun. It was also kind of nice and heartfelt. I do wonder if it's part of whale anatomy that they have like 3 uvulas and they can sing, or basically they can, can speak, sing, whatever in like several voices at once. I wonder if it's actually part of whale anatomy, because it was kind of a weird little touch otherwise for this segment. But yeah, it was nice. I don't know if it was the most fitting segment to end the movie. If I was in charge of like the running order of all the segments in this movie, I definitely would have done it a little differently. Like I probably would have ended it with either Peter and the Wolf or maybe the Blue Bayou segment. But yeah, I just think there were better segments that could have ended this than the whale one, but the whale one was still good. So yeah, I got some enjoyment out of all the segments in this. Not everything about it holds up so well, but for what it was, I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, I'd probably say that out of the post World War II package films, this is probably my favorite so far. So, yeah, I guess my rating would probably be 7 out of 10. And yeah, if anything I've been talking about sounds interesting, then feel free to check it out. I'm not sure how much you might like it, but yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out. So yeah, decent movie. Anyway, it's late. I should probably be going to bed soon. So yeah, Mash it and Smash it signing off.